The other week I made a video about Trump's threats to take over Canada, to make it the 51st state. And I said that every American with teenage boys should be worried, that every American who is in the armed forces or has loved ones that are servicemen and women should be deeply concerned. And that of all of the rhetoric that was happening then, just days ago, that was the scariest to me as the parent of boys in a country where they still have to register for selective service. And I made a similar comment previously about Panama. We have a president who is consistently threatening to start wars of aggression with our allies. He is willing to see our sons and daughters die fighting in absolutely insane and unjust wars that he intends to start. Because this kind of Lebensraum, this kind of, expansionist rhetoric is something that fascists love to employ. Mustache Man did it, Putin's been doing it, and now we're seeing Trump do the same thing because, of course, he's desperate to appear anything like his idol Putin. So he's going to take up the same tactics. And now we are seeing his escalating rhetoric around Greenland. And I just red alert, you guys. Let's all sound the alarm. This is terrifying. I'm referencing a news article here from ABC on March 27th. Donald Trump said that the U.S. will, quote, go as far as we have to go to get control of Greenland. This is right before JD and Usha Vance went on their completely embarrassing stop in Greenland, where nobody wanted to meet with them. They were both, persona non grata. They had to massively scale back their plans because nobody wanted to look at them and interact with them. Trump has said we need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll have to go as far as we have to go. We need Greenland. All the world needs us to have Greenland, including Denmark. Denmark has to have us have Greenland. And we'll see what happens. But if we don't have Greenland, we can't have great international security. Trump added, I view it from a security standpoint. We have to be there. Y'all, this is really, really frightening. And before you say I'm sounding alarmist, I am not the only person who is very, very concerned about this.
We've got some breaking news. Donald Trump just told NBC in a new interview that he will 100% annex Greenland and that he will use military force if necessary. The video of this interview has not yet been released, but NBC News reports that Donald Trump said he's committed to annexing Greenland and that a military option is not off the table. Quote, we will get Greenland. Yeah, 100%, Trump said. Trump also added that there is, quote, a good possibility that we could do it without military force, but that, quote, I don't take anything off the table.
I don't know about you, but I do not want to lose my sons to a war of aggression against our neighbors and our allies. This is a great time to call and email your elected representatives, especially if they are Republicans, and to be like, this is insane. How on earth can you sit silently by and let this happen? When are you going to peel off from supporting an absolutely delusional dictator? Senators, representative, where is the line for you? When is this regime doing too much? When have they crossed the line? When you voted to send our sons and daughters to war against Greenland, against Canada, when you've crashed the economy, blown up our spending, our military spending, cost who knows how many American lives because Donald Trump wants to annex Canada and Greenland? Where is the line? When does this feel absolutely insane to you? When do you grow a spine and stand up? If you are in the military, if you have loved ones in the military, do you want to go to war against Canada and Greenland? Is this what you signed up for when you signed up to defend American democracy, to stand up for the Constitution and the American people? Is this what you want to go to war to die for? Because Donald Trump is perfectly happy to sacrifice your life. Not to defend freedom, but to be an aggressor, to be the axis of evil against our friends and allies. You want to be on that side of history? You want to go down in the history books as having died on the battlefield, being on the Yahtzee side, being on the side of the axis of evil. When does your oath to the Constitution kick in? This madman will not stop until we stop him, and our elected representatives in Congress will not stand up and uphold their oath to the Constitution until we make them, until we hold their feet to the fire. The thing is that so many GOP in Congress know that this is wrong. They know that all of this is wrong. And they are still afraid to stand up and vote for the Constitution, vote for their constituents, and do the right thing. And so we have got to keep the pressure on them. We have got to keep our boots on their necks. You need to be calling every single day. You need to be sending emails. You need to be showing up to all of the town halls. You need to be making a public stink on your social media. If your elected member of Congress has not spoken out against these things that Donald Trump wants to do, if they have not resoundingly condemned and said, there is no fucking way we will be invading Canada. We will not be funding a war against our allies, Canada or Mexico or Panama or Greenland. Then you must, at this point in time, assume that they are supporting those wars of aggression. When you call them, say, I've not heard you speak against these things, so my understanding is that you are in support of Donald Trump's plan to start a war of aggression with our ally Greenland, our ally Denmark, to make us an enemy of every member of NATO, to center us as the axis of evil, where we have now isolated ourselves and our only allies will be Viktor Orban in Hungary and, Vladimir Putin in Russia. Hundreds of thousands of Russians have died in the attempt to overtake the sovereign country, Ukraine. Hundreds of thousands of Russians. And if we don't understand that we could lose hundreds of thousands of American lives for Donald Trump's ideations of grandeur, right? His megalomaniacal vision, the same way that Russia has lost hundreds of thousands of its sons and daughters to Putin's megalomaniacal vision, then we are deluding ourselves. We've got to understand what is at stake here. And we have got to act with a sense of urgency, and we have got to hold our representatives' feet to the fire. And we have got to show up. We've got to show up to everything, every act of economic resistance, every act of, physical in public resistance, every act of pressuring our electeds now and tomorrow and every day until we get the job done.